We open with the incredibly well executed long shot of the now adult Rhaenyra giving birth. And I have to give a shout out to Emily Darcy here. I've been in the birthing room a couple times and seen babies come into this world a couple times. And I have to say, her acting seemed as realistic as I've seen in any television show of a birthing sequence. It seemed, more real and tangible, and the way she was breathing and grunting and the whole rhythm and motion of it. I don't know if the actress is a mother herself, but she obviously observed women giving birth in some form and pulled that into her performance here, because I tip my hat to it. I tip my hat to it.
And again.
Having just given birth and not recovered yet from this intense physical act, the princess is beckoned by the queen, who wants to see her new baby. She walks through the halls of the Red Keep here, and we see the vastness and epicness of this large set as the camera just keeps on rolling without cutting. It's all enveloping and suspenseful, and I'm already just in the moment and wondering what is happening politically and emotionally here, and not even really thinking about this new actress portraying Rhaenyra. I'm already immersed in the story because of the previous 5 episodes that I'm not even pulled out or odd. It just seems natural that it's still Rhaenyra somehow, immediately.
I think I called the midwife a cunt.
Rhaenyra returns home with her son, and Harwin Breakbones is there, who also examines the baby, who is obviously his child. It's kind of hard to feel empathy for Rhaenyra here, considering that she's willingly and openly and obviously put herself in this fucked up situation. So how could you not understand the flack and the violence that's going to be flung her way from mothering these bastardy, illegitimate heirs? But also at the same time, she was forcibly pressured into marrying a gay man who wasn't interested in her. So maybe they did try to father children, but he wasn't willing, or maybe she wasn't willing. It's a complex situation. None of these characters are good or bad. They're all just both, and fucked up and complex, and just, what are you doing, Rhaenyra? What the fuck are you doing? Just have kids with Laenor, man. He's gay, I guess. I don't know. She gone done fucked up.
Sleep in front of the commander of the city watch. Terrible lack of respect.
A certain insolence runs in the family, I'm afraid.
In a really cool sequence, we see Rhaenyra and Alicent's children in the dragon pit with this young adolescent dragon, and they're trying to make the dragon bond and be tamed with one of these children here. It was really interesting to see the inner workings of this world and how dragons are a larger part of it. The kids then play a prank on Armand and give him this pig of the pink dread, and all I could think of in this moment was, what if this dragon sees this pig and then goes apeshit at it and attacks it? It didn't happen, but that was just in my head. There's a pig here, there's a dragon over there. Shit's gonna get fucking real fucking quick.
Behold, the pink dread. Be sure to mount her carefully. First flight's always rough.
Aemond wanders deeper into the dungeons of the dragon pit and encounters this behemoth. The lighting here, the play between complete darkness and the bright orange flame was just beautiful. That full wide shot of the dragon just belching flame everywhere. It was just every frame of painting once again.
You will have a dragon one day.
He'll have to close an eye.
Foreshadowing. Alicent then confronts Viserys about the fatherhood of Rhaenyra's children, but Viserys seems completely biased or oblivious to the actual lineage of these children. I think he's aware of the truth, but he's just not willing to entertain it because he loves his daughter so much and he knows what could happen to her and the kids if this transgression is revealed.
The Princess Rhaenyra is brazen and relentless. A spider who stings and sucks her prey dry. Spoiled cunt.
We then cut to Aegon jacking it out a window and the ultimate power play, just jizzing onto the kingdom with reckless disrespect. Alicent comes in and berates him about his actions and teasing his brother and warns of the violence and danger ahead of him, being Viserys' firstborn son. And it's really interesting here to see the journey that Alicent has gone on over this 10-year time jump where we didn't see her. Gone is the little innocent girl, and we now have this battle-hardened and aware and agatonistic? You know the word I mean. Aware and battle-hardened queen who is completely aware of this coming violence. The actress here does a brilliant job of playing the older version of this character, and it's completely believable. Antagonistic. That was the word my brain was trying to find.
Then I won't.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing!
Daemon and his wife then showcase their dragons in front of these stunned spectators. They fly around and breathe fire and do all this incredible and crazy stuff. And it got me thinking about some stuff to do with riding dragons. I ride my bike a lot, and in the winter your skin gets dry and cracked and you get windburn on your lips. Your eyes can get all fucked up and you get colds and sore throats, and it's all fucked up. And being on the back of a massive dragon as it flies a million times quicker would be so much more fucked up. I'm not saying that I want them to wear goggles or masks in the show while they're riding their dragons, because I think that would look dumb. It would look like Harry Potter during the Quidditch when they had those like medieval leather goggle things on. I don't want that. But it just pulls me out a little bit when I see them swooping around, and all I can think is, man, that would fucking hurt your eyes and crack your lips and dry your skin and fuck with your throat. Human beings are meant to be pushed through air that quick for that long. It doesn't do nice things to us. Daemon has now retreated from the political scheming of King's Landing and is seeking a life of solitude and study. He cares not for being an antagonist and stirring the pot anymore. He just seems to want to be quiet and just fade away. It's so interesting to see how all of our characters have changed so much in this time that we haven't spent with them. It's a massive leap of faith for the audience to change the actors who play these characters and for so much to transpire without us seeing it. But I think it's easy to follow along and it makes sense. That's what happens to people. When you cut back to The Force Awakens and it's 40 years after we last seen all our heroes from Return of the Jedi and they're in the exact same positions in life, it makes them seem like dumb cartoon characters. But here everyone's evolved and changed and moved on in this time jump, and that's just realistic. That's what people do. We're in constant flux.
Welcomed and feted.
And eternally guessed.
Precisely. We are without responsibility. The political scheming, the endless shifting of loyalties and succession is none of ours.
After the eldest sons of the Queen and the Princess duke it out, Sir Criston Bates break bones to reveal his sins in front of a larger public. This violent outburst just illustrates that obviously the children are his, which exposes them to violence and illegitimizes their right as the heirs to the throne. It's all been exposed and it doesn't bode well for anyone on Rhaenyra's side of this.
Say it again!
Lord as a match.
The Hand then harangues his son for his sheer stupidity at exposing his children's bastardry and illegitimizing them. This whole thing is just bubbling and bubbling and growing in intensity and tension and suspense, and as soon as Viserys dies, it's all gonna erupt into some incredibly violent power play that I can't wait for.
Your intimacy with the Princess Rhaenyra is an offense that would mean exile and death. For you, for her, for the children.
Laenor confronts her husband Daemon here, and it's made obvious that he's not content and at peace with his position. He's being beckoned back into all this madness, but is trying to avoid it. It's like he just can't help but be pulled towards the shenanigans and pot stirring. It's who he is, even though he wants for a different life. He wants to be a normal person just sitting around, but it doesn't do him any well, and he's just not content, not happy, and not at peace.
If you did, you would venture into the city, but instead you spend your time here, in the library, reading accounts of the same dead dragon lords whose legacy you claim has no hold on you.
Didn't know I was being so minutely observed.
After an argument about the stepstones, Rhaenyra presents this idea to Alicent to marry her son to her daughter and to fuse their families together and try to de-escalate this building tension. It's a great idea that would help everybody involved, but Alicent wants no part of it. She just seems like she just wants Aegon on the throne now. She knows that these children are illegitimate. She thinks Rhaenyra is disrespectful, which she is. She thinks she's belligerent to her father, which she is. And she just can't take any part of it. That's not her. She's always toed the line and done her duty, but Rhaenyra's always just done whatever the fuck she wants because she's a fucking outlaw and a renegade and a punk rock princess. But yeah, Alicent's like, no, Rhaenyra, we're not gonna have peace. Fuck you, you've gone too far. I don't respect you, you're insane. Just like fucking Daemon.
My son, Jacaerys, will inherit the Iron Throne after me. I propose we betroth him to your daughter, Helena.
The Hand attempts to resign his position here due to the fact that he's completely incapable of not being biased in this situation, considering that his son has illegitimate bastards to the heir of the throne, and that's all wrapped up in this political drama and intrigue which is on the precipice of exploding. But Viserys just dismisses it again and doesn't acknowledge the truth of the matter. It's just like, nah, you're loyal to me, you're all good, you're still on board.
Your advice has been sage, unmarked by self-interest, which stands in contrast to all others.
Alicent reveals her frustrations about the bias of the Hand to Larys and talks about her lack of allies here in the kingdom, and this motherfucker, this Grima Wormtongue on crack, well, we're not quite there yet, but he goes to this prison and he gets these 3 convicts and brutally and disgustingly has their tongues removed so they won't speak of what he's asking them to do. He seems to enjoy this whole sequence, and he's just a dark and sickly, twisted character, brilliantly portrayed by this actor here. Faced with an impossible situation, Laenor chooses suicide by dragon rather than to die in childbirth. That moment where she's yelling Dracarys at a dragon, but this giant, disgusting lizard shows empathy for his rider and doesn't want to obey her command. And then to see Daemon rush out and to see the flames just engulf his wife, this pitch black darkness to just completely shift into this bright orange color as Daemon's world is completely shattered. It was a interesting turn of events which I did not see coming at all, and utilizes the dragons in an interesting manner. Suicide by dragon, there you go, that's a new one. Breakbones is then forced to leave King's Landing and leave his entire family here. Rhaenyra's son, for the first time, realizes that this guy who's taken so much interest in them, who looks exactly like them, is actually his father and not that black drunk guy over there. Rhaenyra can feel this pot slowly boiling over, so she chooses to leave the danger of King's Landing and retreat to Dragonstone before everything erupts into violence. But as soon as Viserys dies, it's all gonna fucking go down. Unless she renounces... Well, no, she's not going to do that. It's all going to erupt into violence. To Alicent's horror, Sir Larys reveals he murdered his own father and his brother to aid her and her quest in obtaining her son as the heir to the throne. He gets his creepy voiceover over the shots of Harrenhal and his burnt family members being brought out on stretchers. He's talking about children and how they're just liabilities, and doesn't understand the power of love or family or connection or community. He just thinks it's a liability and a danger. He's fucking Grima Wormtongue on crack. He's next level insane, and I can't wait to see what part he'll play in this larger civil war. In conclusion, as always, this episode was amazing. The creators took a big leap of faith here, lulling us into this 5-hour prologue with these actors, then to just jump 10 years and have all of these events transpire, which were seemingly important, but I guess they weren't because we didn't see them, and we just have to take it on the show's quality, that it knows what it's doing and it knows where it's going and it knows what to show us, and it believes in us as an intelligent audience and knows that we don't need to see everything. I believe these new actors as Rhaenyra and Alicent, I think they're doing an amazing job, and I think they're going to continue to do an amazing job. I think it's just the quality of the show that pulls you through. Like I said, when we first cut to Rhaenyra, I was looking at it for a little bit, and then it's just like, I'm in the moment, and I'm wondering why she's being beckoned, and I'm looking at the sets, and I'm listening to the music, and I'm being immersed in this world. It's just a level of quality that's higher than most popular television these days. Alright guys, I'll see you next week.
I think I called the midwife a cunt.